Stop everything for a moment. Right now, the world is moving faster than ever, yet most souls walk blind, unaware of the forces shaping their lives. The chaos around us is not random. It is a test, a mirror reflecting what we ignore within ourselves. Some of you feel it, a quiet pull, a subtle knowing that there is more than this ordinary existence. You are the chosen ones, sensitive to a deeper truth that whispers beneath the noise. Few understand that the first step toward mastery is simple yet profound: to see clearly, not through the lens of judgment, fear, or desire, but with the calm, unwavering focus of a Shaolin master observing the world without attachment. Ancient wisdom teaches that clarity is the doorway to all strength, all courage, all insight, and those who step through it discover that life itself begins to move in harmony with their inner purpose. In this video, you will uncover hidden lessons from Shaolin teachings and timeless spiritual practices. You will learn how to recognize the signs of your higher calling, how to quiet the mind to hear guidance long ignored, and why daily discipline transforms ordinary moments into sacred opportunities. You will witness truths rarely spoken, insights often lost in the chaos of modern living, and understand why the chosen ones cannot afford to walk unaware. By the end, you will see your life through a lens sharpened by clarity and presence, learning not just to survive but to awaken. Shaolin wisdom has been passed down through generations, not as a story to admire, but as a path to live. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient teachings ignite the spirit within. Subscribe now and walk this journey with us. Your awakening begins here. There is a moment before every storm, a space where the world holds its breath, and in that silence, true power begins. Most move through life reacting, rushing, always chasing what comes next, unaware that every action without stillness carries the weight of distraction. The Shaolin masters understood this long before the chaos of the modern world. They knew that movement without inner pause is empty, directionless, like a river without a source. In the quiet of meditation, they sit with the mind as it is, not forcing thought, not rejecting feeling, simply observing. In this stillness, clarity emerges. The body becomes an instrument, and the mind a precise compass. Each step taken after this pause is deliberate, infused with awareness, aligned with purpose. Without it, even the strongest action can falter. Even the wisest choice can lose its path. This silence is not emptiness, it is listening. It is the way to hear what is often drowned out by the noise of the world, the subtle guidance of the spirit, the whispers of God that speak only to those willing to wait, to breathe, to be present. In this sacred pause, decisions are sharpened, intentions purified, and the soul finds its rhythm. Even in the smallest movements of daily life, the principle remains. Stop, breathe, and let the mind settle. Before speaking, before acting, before committing, meet the silence. Let it teach patience, teach focus, teach restraint. The chosen ones are not those who act without thought, but those who move with awareness, who honor the space between impulse and action. In the stillness, a path appears where there seemed to be none. What once was rushed and chaotic becomes precise. What once felt heavy becomes effortless. This is the power of silence before action, a power that transforms not just deeds, but the heart and mind that guide them. Every life begins in the mind, long before it shows in the world. Thoughts are the invisible architects of destiny, quietly shaping the path we walk. Most people believe they are free, yet their minds are a battlefield of unchecked impulses, fleeting desires, and unnoticed fears. Ancient masters saw this clearly. They taught that the mind, when left uncontrolled, can become the most dangerous enemy. Mindfulness is often misunderstood as simply noticing thoughts. True mastery goes deeper. It is understanding where each thought arises, why it lingers, and what it seeks. It is observing the patterns of the mind as a river observes its own flow, without being swept away. In this observation, the seeds of awareness are planted. A mind trained in discipline does not suppress or reject. It guides. It recognizes harmful thoughts before they take root and nurtures those that align with purpose and truth. Shaolin teachings speak of the mind as both temple and weapon. A disciplined mind moves with precision, calm, and clarity. It turns chaos into strategy, confusion into insight. Every moment of self-awareness strengthens the inner foundation, creating resilience that cannot be shaken by circumstance. The ancient texts warn uncontrolled thoughts ripple outward, subtly eroding character, relationships, and destiny. Every careless word, every reactive impulse is born in the mind first. Yet the reverse is equally true. A mind cultivated with patience, reflection, and intention becomes a channel for higher guidance. Thoughts aligned with discipline and clarity act as instruments of divine order, leading action, decision, and destiny with precision. In mastering the mind, the chosen ones discover that the world is not something to be conquered. They are shaping reality itself, one conscious thought at a time. The mind, once tamed, reveals the profound truth. Mastery begins not in the hands or the body, but in the quiet command of the inner self. Many fear discipline, imagining it as chains that bind, as rules that limit the soul. Yet the ancient masters understood the opposite. True discipline is a doorway, not a prison. It is the gentle shaping of habit, the quiet structure that allows the mind and body to move freely without being pulled by every fleeting desire. Shaolin philosophy teaches that those who yield to impulses are trapped in a cycle of reaction, always chasing what is immediate, never grasping what is essential. Discipline begins in the small things, rising with the sun, observing stillness, tending to the body, speaking with intention. These are not burdens, but invitations. Each consistent act builds a foundation, unseen at first, yet unshakable in time. The body becomes resilient, the mind becomes focused, and the spirit learns the rhythm of its own strength. This is the paradox of mastery. Through structure, the self discovers freedom. In the quiet repetition of daily rituals, the ordinary transforms into sacred practice. Washing the hands, arranging a space, bowing before action, every motion, executed with awareness, reinforces mastery over impulse. Without discipline, even the strongest will is fragile. With it, even the humblest effort carries power. The Shaolin masters compared it to the flow of water shaped by a channel free to move yet guided unstoppable in its course. Inner strength is born not in bursts of effort, but in the patient, repeated choices that align mind, body, and spirit. Clarity emerges when distraction is no longer allowed to rule. Every disciplined act becomes a declaration. The self is no longer a servant to chaos. Through discipline, the chosen ones discover what the world cannot give: calm, clarity, and true freedom. It is not restriction that liberates, but the steady, conscious mastery of one's own life. True growth begins in the places we fear to look. Within every mind lies a shadow, hidden fears, old wounds, and unresolved emotions that whisper in silence, shaping choices without notice. Most turn away, distracted by the world, hoping discomfort will fade. But ancient wisdom teaches that avoidance only strengthens the shadow. Shaolin masters remind us, courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to meet it with calm and clarity. Facing these hidden parts is like standing before a dark river. Its surface may seem still, but beneath currents of emotion and memory flow with unseen force. Spiritual awakening demands that we step into this current, not to be swept away, but to understand its patterns. Every fear confronted, every suppressed emotion acknowledged, becomes a tool for mastery. It is through this process that the mind gains strength, the heart gains clarity, and the spirit gains freedom. Discomfort is often the language through which God speaks. It arrives not to punish, but to illuminate where growth is required. A conflict, a loss, an unexpected challenge, these are mirrors, reflecting what remains unhealed within. The chosen ones do not shy away. They pause, breathe, and look inward. With mindfulness, each shadow becomes a teacher, revealing lessons that are otherwise invisible in the light of comfort. Shaolin practice emphasizes reflection and stillness as allies in this journey. Sitting quietly, observing thoughts and feelings without judgment, cultivates a mind capable of discernment. Strength arises not from suppression, but from understanding. When the inner darkness is faced with patience and presence, fear loses its power, and clarity emerges. The chosen ones learn that the path to enlightenment is not found in avoidance, but in courageous engagement with the self. Every shadow confronted becomes a step closer to mastery, revealing the divine wisdom hidden within. There is a quiet strength in fully arriving, in placing attention wholly in this single moment. Too often, life drifts in fragments, thoughts of the past tugging backward, worries of the future pulling forward, while the present slips unnoticed. True mastery is found not in what was or what will be, but in the depth of engagement with what is. Ancient sages teach that the mind anchored in now becomes both compass and guide, revealing the path hidden beneath the noise of distraction. Mindfulness is the bridge between chaos and clarity. It is not simply observing the world, but feeling its weight, its subtle rhythms without resistance or judgment. Each breath, each motion, each glance carries the potential for awareness. Shaolin philosophy describes this as the art of living as a conscious witness, fully present, fully alive, fully attentive. In this state, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Tasks once mundane transform into deliberate practice. Challenges once overwhelming become lessons in patience and perception. Every action performed with presence is a form of devotion. Washing the hands, walking the path, speaking a word, all can be expressions of sacred attention. The chosen ones learn that nothing in life is too small to be an opportunity for mastery. Awareness turns simple deeds into steps along a spiritual journey, each one aligned with the greater plan. Presence also cultivates freedom. By releasing attachment to what has passed and fear of what is yet to come, the mind moves without restraint. Clarity sharpens, intuition deepens, and the heart aligns with the flow of life. The past is honored but not chained to. The future is respected but not feared. In the present, the chosen ones discover the power to act with precision, the wisdom to respond with balance, and the grace to live fully. Here, in this sacred moment, mastery begins, and every breath becomes a step closer to purpose. Every journey, no matter how long or short, begins with a single direction. Purpose is the compass that guides the chosen ones, steadying the mind when the world spins with distraction and noise. Without it, even the most skilled actions can wander, hollow, and unfulfilled. Shaolin masters teach that every movement, every decision carries weight only when aligned with intention. Each step is not random. It is deliberate, a reflection of inner clarity. Intentional action requires awareness. Before lifting a hand, speaking a word, or taking a path, the mind must be calm, the heart aligned, and the purpose clear. This is not a rigid prescription, but a living principle. Action becomes sacred when guided by meaning. The ancient sages practiced this in every moment, walking, breathing, training, or resting. Each movement, though simple in appearance, was infused with focus and respect for the greater path. Distraction is the greatest thief of purpose. The modern world presents endless temptations to scatter energy, to follow impulses that lead nowhere. The chosen ones resist this subtle erosion. They cultivate discipline through repetition, mindfulness, and reflection, ensuring that every act, no matter how small, serves the path of growth and alignment. Even silence and stillness are purposeful when embraced as preparation for action. Purpose also gives courage. When the direction is clear, fear loses its grip. Hesitation fades because every choice is measured against a higher standard. Shaolin wisdom reminds us that mastery is not merely strength or skill, it is precision born from clarity. When life tests the chosen ones with obstacles or confusion, purpose acts as a tether, drawing action toward meaning rather than impulse. In this way, life itself becomes a practice. Each motion an echo of intention, each decision a reflection of the path illuminated by inner mastery. Strength is often misunderstood as force or dominance, yet the ancients knew a deeper truth. True power is measured not by what one can take, but by what one can give. Shaolin teachings remind us that the greatest mastery arises when strength is tempered with compassion, when the mind and body are guided by the heart. Moral and spiritual fortitude are as vital as physical skill or mental clarity. They shape how the chosen ones move through the world and influence the lives around them. Compassion is not weakness. It is a form of discipline, a deliberate choice to act with understanding even when circumstances encourage harshness or indifference. Empathy requires courage, patience, and awareness, all qualities cultivated through mindful practice. The chosen ones learn that every act of kindness, every moment of service, strengthens the spirit. Each compassionate gesture becomes a reflection of inner mastery, transforming ordinary interactions into sacred expressions of power. Service, in particular, aligns the self with a higher flow. When actions benefit others, the chosen ones tap into a rhythm larger than personal desire. Shaolin philosophy speaks of energy moving in harmony when it is offered rather than hoarded. By helping, by guiding, by easing the burdens of others, one strengthens not only the world but the self. The heart becomes a channel for wisdom, courage, and divine guidance, capable of moving through life with purpose and grace. Even small acts, a word of encouragement, a moment of patience, a gesture of support, become potent tools for transformation. Compassion teaches balance, humility, and perspective. The chosen ones discover that the true measure of mastery is not domination over others, but the ability to wield strength with gentleness. In this way, kindness is not separate from power. It is its most refined expression, a bridge between discipline and divine alignment, a way to move through the world fully awake. There is a rhythm to life that cannot be forced. Rivers do not hurry to reach the sea, nor do the seasons rush to turn. Ancient wisdom teaches that all unfolds in its perfect timing, and those who grasp this truth move through life with both ease and purpose. The chosen ones understand that impatience clouds judgment, distorts perception, and leads even the most capable astray. Rushing invites mistakes, stagnation, and the loss of opportunities that reveal themselves only when the moment is right. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active presence. It is the ability to remain grounded and aware while the world pushes and pulls with distraction. Shaolin masters practice this in every motion, from the deliberate positioning of a stance to the slow, precise flow of breath during meditation. Each action taken at the right moment carries clarity, strength, and alignment. In this way, patience becomes a form of discipline, a conscious choice to honor the unfolding of life rather than resist it. Divine guidance often arrives quietly, through subtle signs, intuitive nudges, or unexpected circumstances. To recognize it requires the calm observation that only patience provides. When the mind is hurried, these messages are easily missed. When the heart is restless, clarity becomes obscured. The chosen ones cultivate the stillness needed to see the path as it appears, step by step, without forcing the outcome. Embracing timing also fosters trust, trust in oneself, in the process, and in the unseen flow of life. It allows decisions to emerge from insight rather than impulse, and actions to resonate with purpose rather than reaction. Through patience, the chosen ones discover that the universe is neither random nor indifferent. Every moment contains a lesson, every pause a preparation, and every step taken with awareness brings one closer to alignment, mastery, and the natural unfolding of destiny. There is a voice that does not shout, yet it carries the weight of truth. It is not heard through the ears, but through the stillness of the heart. God speaks in this way, subtly, gently, through intuition, feelings, and signs that often appear so small they are easily overlooked. The chosen ones learn that this inner voice is the compass of the soul, guiding them toward alignment with their greater purpose. To hear it requires discipline. The mind must be quieted, the heart steadied, the senses sharpened through awareness. Shaolin practice emphasizes this stillness, sitting in silence, watching the breath, observing thoughts until they lose their grip. In such spaces, intuition becomes clear, rising above the noise of doubt and fear. What once felt like random impressions are revealed as threads of guidance, subtle pathways laid out by a divine hand. Ignoring this voice leads to stagnation. Life becomes mechanical, ruled by external noise and inner confusion. Choices lose depth, and actions drift without direction. Yet when the inner voice is honored, even the smallest step carries meaning. A decision guided by intuition may appear uncertain to the world, but it resonates deeply within, bringing peace even amid challenge. This is the mark of true alignment, harmony between the self and the divine flow. The ancients taught that mastery is not only strength of body or clarity of mind, but sensitivity of spirit. To cultivate this sensitivity is to become attentive to the whispers beneath the noise. The chosen ones recognize that guidance rarely comes as thunder. It comes as a whisper in silence, a stirring in the heart, a sign in the ordinary. Heeding it transforms life into a living dialogue with the divine, where every step becomes both answer and prayer. To live as the chosen ones is not to wait for destiny to unfold, but to walk each day with conscious alignment. Discipline, mindfulness, courage, compassion, and patience are not distant ideals. They are living practices woven into the fabric of daily life. The ancients taught that mastery is not found in grand gestures, but in the ordinary moments shaped with awareness, rising at dawn, breathing with intention, speaking with clarity, acting with kindness. These are the silent marks of a life lived in harmony with higher truth. Discipline anchors the chosen ones, ensuring they are not swayed by fleeting impulses. Mindfulness keeps them awake, allowing each breath and step to carry meaning. Courage guides them to face discomfort and shadow without retreat, while compassion reminds them that true strength is found in service, not domination. Patience steadies their path, teaching them that all unfolds in its time, and nothing of value can be rushed. When these qualities are lived, not merely spoken of, life itself becomes sacred. The act of preparing food, of walking a path, of greeting another, becomes a form of practice, no less meaningful than meditation or prayer. Every choice carries weight, for it reflects the alignment of the inner self with the divine rhythm. The chosen ones are not set apart by birth or chance, but by their willingness to return again and again to this path of intentional living. Their mark is not found in titles or recognition, but in the quiet integrity of a life aligned with higher wisdom. Through steady practice, they transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, and their lives become a mirror of what is possible when human discipline and divine guidance move as one. The path of the chosen is not one of ease, but of mindful dedication. It is a journey that asks for clarity of thought, courage of heart, and alignment with the deeper truths that guide our lives. Shaolin wisdom teaches that true mastery does not come from the outside. It begins within, in the calm presence of the mind and the steady rhythm of disciplined practice. God's call is always present, subtle yet persistent. Those who pause, reflect, and act with awareness allow this guidance to flow through them, transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for growth and service. Each step taken with intention becomes a quiet act of devotion, a way to harmonize life with purpose and meaning. As you move through your day, take time to embrace stillness, listen to your inner voice, and act with mindful intention. Let compassion, patience, and discipline guide your choices, turning everyday life into a sacred practice. If this message resonates, we invite you to continue this journey with us. Like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom ignites the spirit and guides the chosen ones toward clarity, courage, and alignment. May your path be steady, your heart calm, and your spirit awakened.